And by waiting adoring crowd, I mean the adoring crowd of one span. And that's about it. It's freezing out here. The wind is picking up. We'll see how we go. Hopefully the roof won't be blown off. And I mean that quite literally. Flipping around, you'll see me in my absolutely stunning, amazing, and all the other words glasses. And I'm going to go in. I forgot one thing because last time we were doing some opals. Right. Last time we were doing some stones. I finished one. Sorry, we had a didn't realise there were children everywhere. Anywho, back to what I was talking about. We did this. Now it doesn't look like much at the moment, but trust me, it's something. I'll just quickly move over to here and I'll try and do this one-handed. Normally, I set up the machine and all the other doovie whatsits. Let's try again. So normally I just put the phone into this machine here, but what I'll do is I'll just turn these on and turn the waters on. There we go. Because I'm only going to give you a rough idea of what's going on here. I'm going to take the glasses off actually. There we go. So here we go. Just very gently. My issue is that there is actually a crack in this one. So I want to see how far I can get along it without cutting the stone up. I may have to cut the stone up. If I do, not the end of the world. It's just a bit annoying because when you cut a stone after you've already shaped it, that means you've wasted a little bit of the shape of the stone, a bit of the stone material. So I'm basically betting that this stone does not have that deep a crack, or the crack can be somehow mitigated, and that could be a very, very bad assumption. Well, it definitely looks like a bad assumption under this light. I don't know what you're seeing, but I'm seeing some pretty cracked stone here. But what I might do is I might just finish this stone off a little bit, just show you how shiny it gets rather than cutting it all and doing all of this stuff, because this part of the cutting process is actually quite a bit boring. But if you have a look here, you can see that there's actually a little bit of crackage going on there, and there's a crack on the top, and I'm wondering if that's even worth persisting with, but we'll just persist because live stream, yay. What I'm doing here is I'm shaping in such a way that gives us a little bit of a dome on the opal. Also, at this particular point in time, that crack that is there, sorry, show you the crack. That's the last time I'm going to say that on the channel. When you have a look there, you can see that crack there. When I'm actually angling it like that, that means that there's a chance that this angling process will actually get rid of that crack. This guy has proved itself to be quite fragile, most definitely a lightning rich stone, but it's more delicate than your average lightning rich stone, so I don't know exactly what's been going on here. I didn't consult with the stone before I started cutting it. Maybe I should have, offered it some incentives to behave, but I didn't know at the time. In other news, for those people who actually do regularly tune into my channel, if you're not, by the way, thank you for tuning in right now. If you like what you see, of course, like and subscribe and do all those things that they always tell you to do. Sorry that we have to tell you, and I'm not trying to apologise on behalf of all of YouTube, but it's necessary for us to try and get likes and subscriptions and stuff just so that YouTube will promote us on the algorithm. We don't like begging for that kind of stuff, I promise you, but we wouldn't do it if it wasn't effective. So sorry, and please do. So here is the stone getting done on 1000 grit. And what I've done is I've actually inoculated this 1000 grit paper with 3000 grit diamond paste. Believe it or not, this seems to work quite a treat. 1000 grit isn't that noticeable, and the 3000 grit actually takes some of the hard work out of the stone, so it works quite well. Quite surprised. Could just be the fact that it's done in oil, and you can always just smear some oil on an opal to make it look better. Didn't hear that from me. Totally didn't hear that from me. This stone does not have to be 100% picture perfect, because I'm just going to give you an idea of what this stone looks like. It's one that was cut in the last live stream, just so that you can see the results from beginning to end. I'm glad that this thing is focusing on my thumb, because like there's dirt under it. It should be focusing on the stone, but you know, being a little bit recalcitrant, as I like to say. Yeah, the spinny flippy stuff is fun. Let's have a look at what we're dealing with. Come on, show us what you're made of. I'm not giving us anything at the moment. Going to angle the stone a bit more to try and give it more. Obviously, this stone has a bit of directionality to it. What we mean by directionality is that it will only face up on one particular angle. If you get that angle wrong, the stone doesn't give you any shine whatsoever, and it looks worthless. As you can see, just as I'm turning it, you can see on the side here, you can see all of that colour happening. That tells you that the direction, so to speak, of the stone is actually not on the face, it's on the sides. It's not tragic, it's not a complete game changer, but this stone is supposed to look a lot better than this. It's not doing much to do that. Let's see. Hopefully, with a little bit of patience, I'll be able to just get this stone to do what it's supposed to do. And with a little bit of patience from you, I suppose. As they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. And I've got some bad news for you. I'm not building Rome. Oh no! Yeah, prepare to hear more stuff like that. One person unsubscribed. Oh, dear. Not unsubscribed, they left. None of them dad jokes. See ya. Thank you for the likeage, whoever that was. I have a feeling that might actually even be the Opal guy who did that. And I'll offer another apology for him, because he's always saying, let's go a little bit earlier, shall we? And I try, but I've been spending all day just sorting some things out, cleaning the house, getting my own children sorted out, which is kind of important. Apparently all sorts of people get upset if you don't look after your own children. Imagine the paperwork. But as well as all of that, I had a machine which didn't work terribly well for the last 2 live streams. There were significant periods of time where you just watched me sitting there with a wrench trying to fix my machine. So what I've done is I've taken the end off it, I've cleaned it very carefully, and hopefully that'll fix it. If not, I'm going to have to change blades and maybe even change the ends, and that'll be quite a to-do. So I'll do anything to avoid doing that. But hopefully the stream will go without a hitch. I've done an awful lot of work to actually get the place cleaner. Not the place cleaner, the machine cleaner. That means no grip in the wheel is going to interfere with the mechanism that might actually slip the blade out. So hopefully we're good. You never know. I'm just hoping that this thing turns out well. In a moment. Have a look at it. It should look an awful lot better than that, but I can already see that the crack means that we are going to have to cut through that opal straight through to the base. That crack is just way too deep. But I will just give this opal a shot by just throwing it onto the cerium rubber So we can actually get an idea of what at least it will look like if we get all the cool stuff done on it. So the next time you see it, it'll probably be a lot different. But let's see if we can actually get it looking kind of cool. No, that crack is just too deep. Oh well, we'll just have to postpone this one. It's okay because I've got plenty of other stones to do. But we will have to just sit here and negotiate with the machine because I've just fixed it up again. Hopefully this will work. There we go. Zoom in. Oop. A little too close. Just a little bit. Can you just do a little bit? Why did you do that? Honestly. I'm always working at odds with all of my equipment. I don't know why they sit there and try and make my life hard, but they do. I don't know why they make my life hard, but they do. Don't know why they make my life hard, but they do. Okay. So, good news is that we got a whole stack of awesome coming up. I'll just give you a little bit of a teaser first. It's this guy here. Going to take this one away so that we can see a bit better. You can't quite put too much light onto a stone, I've discovered. That's how you get some nice pictures going. But you can see this little piece of opal, this little chunk. It's got an awful lot happening for it. Unfortunately, it's got a crack on it. You might notice that the recurring theme here is a crack. And so, you know, there are two types of people. There are opal cutters and there are plumbers, and both of them, you're quite concerned with cracks. So this one will be a little bit of a challenge. You've got this giant peak here to carve out of it, and I would like to turn that giant peak into something else. Maybe I'll be going along that crack. Let me have a look at it. I may be going along that crack to just in half maybe, or maybe I will give it a shot at being a whole opal. That would give me a 2 carat stone, and the colour is beautiful, so presuming it presents to the front. There are other opals around. Just I'm going to pop on the YouTube channel with my other account just to see how things are looking. I want to make sure that you're not getting a no, come on. Yeah, I'm just making sure you're not getting a slideshow or a pixelated thing, because sometimes YouTube has this habit of going badly and slowly, especially with my internet. It's one of the... Mostly Australia is cool, but sometimes Australia is a little bit... How do I put this? Terrible internet-y. I think that's the best way of describing it. So let's get in there and see what it looks like. For the moment, it seems to be done okay. Oh, it's a bit pixely, isn't it? Okay, so let's go. Looking much better, hey? Alright. Looks like we're doing okay. I'm just going to turn this down. Turn that down. We don't want to hear an echo. So, this show is pretty awesome. I'm going to do a bit of a risky maneuver. There's a guy by the name of Mario who does opals, who sells them. And he sent me this massive knobby on the proviso that you talk about, well, not you, that I talk about fossils. So that was about a year ago. I've talked about fossils a little bit, but I will create a presentation because I want to cut this knobby, and I'll cut it tonight, and I'll make a proper fossil style presentation because a lot of the opals that we deal with are actually fossils. So it's not unreasonable. So I'll stick that over here. Also this one. I have been quite blessed recently with a few absolutely smashing stones. So we've got this guy here. I'm going to try and make it... There you go. Have a look at that. You can see why I want to cut this one. Got some beautiful colour right in the middle. The question we've got here is, it's thick enough to actually try cutting a slither from the side if it's only facing this way. Or alternately, if we're really lucky, it'll face this way and we will get some absolute cracking colour. But you can see how it's kind of, you can see that, can't you? That's pretty phantasmagorical. Now, also, I've got this one. This one, it doesn't look like as much, and it has got a few issues with it. There's a lot of cracks. It's a Cooper Pedy stone, I think. I'm just having a look at it. It kind of, I think it's Cooper Pedy, but it does have some lightning ridge vibes about it. But I think it's Cooper Pedy, so that means that you've got to be careful when cutting it. It might even be quite hard to cut. So, considering the fact that this particular blade is on its last legs, we're asking a lot of it. If I have to change the blade, I have to change the blade. And I am warning you that that might have to happen in this particular episode. I've got a blade sitting around somewhere, but I'll be struggling with it because this thing has rusted on. The reason it rusts on is because you have to cut with water, and this equipment isn't necessarily designed for cutting with water. There's a lot of iron involved, and that iron, well, it rusts, and it does all sorts of things. So that's the general program for today. I've got a dozen other opals. I've got this guy here. Now, I know you're going, why have I got that? That's just in case the water dies, because previously to recharge the water delivery device, I've had to go inside, grab a mouthful of water, and do disgusting things outside of camera. Get your minds out of the gutter. But the thing about it is that I had to do an awful lot of stuff I don't like doing, and so I'm hoping that I can just get this thing, plug it into this nozzle here, and then just charge it up that way. Hopefully that'll save me an awful lot of headaches, but also hopefully you won't actually see the headaches that's going on, because we won't be having to deal with it. I've filled up, we've got plenty of water. We've got this opal here. It's got a crack / colour bar, which is kind of interesting to me, so we'll see how that goes. So this is what we've got, and I've got plenty more. I've got 3 containers of stuff that I've picked out that should yield a stone. 3 containers, and they're ice cream containers full of it. Well, the bottom half of the ice cream container, so there's got to be something that'll happen. So first things first, I reckon. The little guy, we're going to warm up on that. We're going to see how all of the equipment handles, because there is no guarantee that this isn't all going to fall apart. So let's go. Just having a look at the piece that I've cut off. There is a lot of colour in it. I don't know if you can see that. So you can use these smaller pieces to make mosaics and stuff, which is a good thing, because this opal, there is no guarantee that it's not going to just fall apart the moment I start messing with it big time. So far so good, but I can still see a lot of issues in this stone. I'm hoping that we can just cut straight through those eventually. What you can see is, you can see a little bit of this is bad colour, because this bad colour actually indicates a crack. You see that colour just there? That's cracked colour. So don't want to see that, but we'll see how we go. At the moment, I'm disobeying one of my cardinal rules, which is, if you're in doubt, cut it or slice it in half. You can see how badly it can go wrong with that stone that I was cutting up before. So I think it's just, yep, okay, so I broke it in half in the end. That might not be the end of the saga as well. I can see there's a tiny piece of shine here, which is an indicator that there is still cracks in the opal. So, nice stone, but it's got issues. This channel here is not dedicated to just sitting here and cutting quality stones. This channel is dedicated to learning about opal and the opal cutting process, because I'm not calling myself a massive expert. There's plenty of experts out there. But the other thing is, I'm
dedicating myself to struggling through the opal process, not to get myself a nice stone. You know, just sit there and pick out a nice stone that's definitely going to yield results. I want to get a stone, and I want to do the toughest stone available and have that risk of failure. I'm not necessarily going to deliberately pick the toughest stone. That's not where I'm headed with that. But the thing is that I want you to see the real experience of opal cutting, because I think a lot of the time you just see these really good opal cutters, and they are really good. Don't get me wrong, they're great. But the view you get of the opal is a bit biased because they've got these amazing $1,000 stones. Nothing wrong with a $1,000 stone. If a miner hands me a $1,000 stone, I am going to cut it on this channel. Just a hint, any of those miners out there watching who just, you know, well, I'm way too rich, I should be, you know, giving stones to a YouTuber. If you're in that category, sure, go right ahead, give me the stone. But at the same time, I want to get these little stones and, you know, hunt through the rough, find the thing, encounter the issues as they occur, show you what the struggle is like. And because you see the struggle like this, you then understand why the opal costs so much, because you see the process that goes into cutting the stone. So, I think I've gotten rid of all the issues, but I think I've also gotten rid of most of the stone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carve this little piece off, because I think that it's still got issues in it. This stone is just simply not giving me a break. Well, giving me several breaks, but not the kind of break I want. There's still a cut in it. Oh. There you go. Live on live stream. A perfectly good stone turned into nothing. Alright, don't worry, there's still another half of it. Let's see what this one does. But seeing what I saw there, yeah, I'm looking at it. I will try cutting it just for funsies, but you can see this stone here in particular, it's got a lot of cracks all the way through it. So I anticipate that what you just saw is going to happen again. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to treat this challenge like we should. Well, I will anyway. And so I'm going to try as hard as I can to salvage the stone, even though I can see that there are a lot of cracks in it. I'm going to try and salvage it. But it seems the mantra of today is cracked stone, see what you can do with it, eh? I noticed that the crack actually fades towards the surface of the stone, so what I'm doing is gently grinding along the cracked surface to see if I can actually get rid of it. The problem you have, of course, is as you grind, the vibration of the machine will actually extend the crack further. So you start playing this losing game of grind and die. What I've just done is I've tried to head it off at the pass by carving right into that crack. Let me see if I've stopped it. I might have. There's still cracks there. Wow. This is a nightmare stone. Have a look. This one's going to go the way of its brother, I think. This happens sometimes, especially with Wellow opal. There's a term called hydrophane. That means basically add water, get an explosion. Not a real explosion. You can get many people cutting opals if they exploded, of course. But yeah, basically it'll just disappear in a puff of powder. This one is still going then. Dagnammit. Alright, here we go. I'm not picking you up. You're too frustrating. Alright, So I gave it my best shot and wasn't good enough from the looks of things. We got any more opal here sitting around that was part of that one? Nope. Alright, I'm not going to say good riddance to bad rubbish, because it is actually, like, cracks and sand and those sorts of things in the stone, they are what make opal cutting worthwhile. I'm just giving this piece a go because I have a feeling that it might be an off cut from there. If it works out, I'm definitely calling it an off cut. If it doesn't work out, I'll just say, oh, it's a random piece of rubbish I found down here. I feel better about my overall sense of honesty if you know exactly what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So I'm fooling myself, but you know I'm fooling myself, so no surprises. Now that's interesting. I've noticed that sometimes I'll be sitting there and I'll be carving a stone and like my body knows what to do. Like I'm instantly going into what you call shaping phase. I didn't actually decide to do that. It was just my muscle memory knew where the stone was at and just said, yep, let's go with it. So I just started making a cab out of it basically. I noticed an issue did crop up, but I think I've nipped that one in the bud. So yep, he says very, very dishonestly to himself, this is obviously an offcut and that stone worked out after all. Yay! If you have any kind of expertise in opals, you'll realise it looked nothing like the other one. But look, that's not a bad little bad little cabochon, which will end up in a nice little ring or something. What have we got here? This does look like a piece of it actually, just so you can see it. This piece here. See what it do, because it'll shatter. I can see shatter bits everywhere. Yeah. So it's got cracks all through it. This has to be a piece of it. But I think I can mitigate that. Okay, so I genuinely can get something out of this. That's pretty cool. I can tell you the way the calculus has gone though. I started off looking at it, I'm going, I could get a $200 to $500 stone out of this. And as we kept going, well, I might be able to get to maybe two $100 stones. And then I'm like, can I get to $20 stones? Can I get anything? And so this one is still cracking, so, you know, I've got nothing out of it. And that is the game we play. Don't feel sorry for me because I'm having a lot of fun just trying to find the perfect stone. So this one here, what I'm going to do, seeing it's getting dark, I'm going to turn off the light. I'm going to check with the lasers to see what's going on here. Because I do have a bit of an advantage here. Which laser is that? That's a blue one. So I'll just poke it here. Let's see what we've got. You can see that there, can't you? Because I'm going to have to just look at it with my own eyes. Actually, I'll bring it up because I think this laser is a lot easier to work with. The other green laser was the only one I had to hand at the time, and that one is just too bright, so it clips. Good dear. It clips the light sensor on my phone too easily. Right, what I'm seeing here is at the very least that we've got a nice clear run of opal from beginning to end. We've got a sand shadow which is at the edge of one side, and we've got a sand shadow which is rather large at the corner, so you can kind of see what we're dealing with. So there is a chance what I can do is I can try cutting the sand off the corners, and then we'll see what we're left with. And it does look like my old favourite Minibee because there's sand on both sides. We'll find out soon enough because Minibee tends to be very brittle. Could well be that other stone that I was working on was a Minibee stone. If there's another Minibee in proximity, it's not exactly out of the realm of possibility, is it? That was a silly thing. I looked away at the wrong time and I hit the opal up against the blade at the bad angle. I might have just cracked it. We'll see. If it's not my day, it's not my day. At least the equipment's working. Should I have said that? No, I shouldn't have. Famous last words. There we go. And I don't mind cutting stones, but like I look at the analytics of my videos later on. I mean, I can't help it because I'm a statistician. But I get the general impression that people like to see nice, pretty, flashy stones because they always peak whenever you see either a bird or a nice, pretty stone. So not everyone wants to see the process, I suppose. And that's okay. Everyone's got their own life to live, I suppose. Like you, well, I'm here enjoying the process. And I suppose other people have got to sit there and enjoy the stone. I might carve that entire piece off. No, I'll grind it off because I don't think it'll be worth anything. And you get a bit more precision if you get to grind it off. Not much, but a bit. Enough to make it worth doing sometimes. Let's have a look here. You can still see a nice, I'll call it a crack, but it's not really. It's a sand line. It's got a bit of sand sitting there. There's also still a chunk of sand sitting here. We knew about that. We saw it in the laser. As a matter of fact, the sand line is pointing towards the sand, so that is an example of a good cutting cue. And what I might do is I might cut along that sand line there to just make sure that I don't have to cut anymore. Yep. If one piece is going to fly out of your hands, it's the piece that you want to keep that will do it, not the piece that you're wanting to discard. And it landed where? Is that it? No, that's not it. Bear with me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen, as I find the opal that just flew out of my hands. I can pretend it's that one, but it's not. Where did it go? It better not have gone down there. If it's gone inside the water, I'm not going to... There's a water reservoir at the bottom. I'm not going to waste time trying to find it if that's the case. The dogs want to. That is a look. Underneath the reservoir. Hopefully there's something there. I think as luck would have it, it was brought into the reservoir strip. I'm going to stop the search and just move on to those stones. Like a blind man drew a cube. Okay. Is that it? No, that's not it. Deary me. Real tragedies overseas. I found a nice stone, but that's not it. Oh, I can't see it. Maybe it's gone over here. Is that it? No, that's not it. Is that it? So I'm just looking all around here. It's very interesting to watch it just gently flick away. Someone wants to watch the replay and try and figure out where it went. That'd be great. But it just gently flicked away and then was not seen ever again. Found it. Yay, found it. I think anyway. Yeah, that looks like it. It looks a bit worse for wear too. So, back to the cut we go. No. That's it. I think most of the pizzazz has gone out of this, and I'm going to have to cut it again. Maybe this isn't the right stone. Well, from one perspective it isn't the right stone anyway. I just snapped it off camera, just so that you know. Alright, so once again my muscle memory is just kicking in and I'm just carving it into a drop now, so my muscle memory is okay with it. Basically, if you've been cutting opals for a while, like your hands and eyes get coordinated in such a way that you kind of know what is next to be expected and you just instantly go into it. The moment the stone's ready to be shaped, just get shaped. And yeah, I don't know necessarily how I'm able to just, shape it into a drop, but I've gotten the general impression that people can't just do it. So it's fun, I'll give you that much. So there you go, there's a nice little drop. But we'll try and get something more spectacular happening because that was a bit sad. Not much has been going right. So, not that one. I'm just going to try and find a nice stone that is going to pop out and say hello. Not that one. That one's going to. That one's I'm going to struggle through. This one's a struggle street stone. Just looking to see if I can spot any colour on it at all. It must have been colourful in the daytime and not any other time. Right, taking that one away from the calculations. I'm not going to do the knobby because the knobby was supposed to be one of those, let's leave it up to chance kind of stones. So I'm going to move over to here, and I think there's one side stone somewhere. Alright, we'll try this one. Maybe we should need to take bigger risks seeing that nothing's working. So this stone here has got a colour bar just on the side here. And it's got a colour bar just here, so we're making the assumption here that that stone has got a colour bar that pretty much goes all the way through. What I'm going to do is I'm going to gradually cut off pieces of the stone to try to get to that colour bar on the other side. Now that is encouraging. Let me show you what I've got here. Looking at the stone, this is doing what the stones, in my estimation, always do. And that is, when you get to the middle of them, there's this giant black lump of potch. This is definitely a black opal. And it tells me that this is, even though it's very angular, this is, it's a version of a knobby. So knobbies are the kinds of opals we like to play with because they end up giving us good stones. So I'm going to cut this end off here and see if I can start making a little bit better. Now most people would still refer to this as seam opal, but I've read a few papers on the topic. PhDs do that, I'm sorry about that. But the papers, the scientists seem to think that seam opal is just a whole heap of knobbies that have been forced together, geological time and pressures and all that. Now ain't that interesting? Nice and black underneath. And what is going on here? Yeah, it seems to me that this is kind of happening in line with the... So this blackness might be going down to the bottom here, or is it... Let's use the green laser to really figure out what's happening here. So let's see what happens when I green laser it. You're not going to see much because it's just way too bright. So, interesting. What I'm seeing is that the opal terminates right about where that black potch ends up. But there is evidence, it could just be because the opal is shaped that way, but there is evidence that at where this potch ends up, if you can see where you can see where the light is finishing. That is where the black in the middle is, but it's also evidence of a second colour bar. So that's interesting. I didn't expect that. We'll see what happens. Could be nothing, but it might be something. So let's give this a shot. First thing we're going to do is we're going to try and get that second colour bar out. It might be nothing, so don't just assume everything's going to be hunky-madori from here on in. Certainly won't be. This is going to be a struggle the entire way through. First things first, I'm going to try and expose that colour bar. The hidden, invisible colour bar that maybe I just imagined is there. Okay, so let's have a look at what we've got here. Unbelievable. There you go. There's your second colour bar. Have a look just in there. Hang on, it's pretty obvious. You look right up in there. There it is. There's that second colour bar. The laser was not lying. So, let's just keep going and see what else we can find. Trying to work out exactly how to approach this now because I don't want to necessarily disrupt what's going on with this stone. What I will do is I'll take this cap off, and once the cap's gone, yeah, I'm calling this a white cap. That's controversial, by the way. If you're another opal cutter, you're going, no, don't call it that. My channel, I can call it what I like. So I'll take this white cap off. We'll call it white cap material. Let's see if there's anything particularly interesting underneath that. Sometimes this white cap material actually shines, and you try and shine it up and it's rubbish. Can't do anything with it. But it's just interesting that we've got this stuff happening in this way. So that's most of the sandy cap done. There's just a hint of white underneath there. I'm wondering if that's either a crack or, you know, precursor to colour. Now I'm sorry that you're going through this slowly. This is the kind of stone you can't just motor through it. You have to examine and re-examine, and you're alive. I wonder what happened. Hope everyone's still with me. I had to reconnect for reasons I don't know. Turning this opal into mud reminds me of that song. You can't hurry mud, you just have to wait. I'm sure that's what he's talking about. Another great Philip there, Phil Collins. There was always something in the air of the night when Phil Collins was around, wasn't there? I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. It's the tune of the thing. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Did I get the note? So what I'm doing is I'm very carefully and sheepishly even carving around this. So I'm going to try to just carve this across the top of the black, I think. I'm going to cut across the top of the black. Does this course of action go into the good idea category? Probably not. Possibly goes into the good YouTube category, watching somebody stuff something up. It's too thin a piece to actually get any usable opal from, so I'm just getting into it. Now I'm going to smooth it all down again. Right, let's have a look what we got here. I accidentally nicked it on the way through, but the precious opal is here, not on this side as far as I can tell, but I'm trying to get to wherever the lens is leading. So I'm going to carve straight through this time. Gently exploring more and more of that opal. We've gotten the black on display, which is good, I suppose. I'm going to try to... This will be the most controversial of my cuts. It'll be going from here to basically Timbuktu. Look at that, I even moved my finger out of the way so you could try and see it. Showmanship. Yeah, I was opting to grip it lightly, and that means you've sometimes got to just let it go rather than push harder and let it fly into the blade. So that was all kind of planned, as opposed to the other times when it's completely unplanned. So let's see, we've got... Alright, we'll go across the top here, because I know that there is a potential... I'm going to angle out actually, so that if I have actually hit the opal, I'm not hitting it too hard. There we go. What are we up to now? Now, just as a quick side quest here, this looks like a lovely piece of that black that I've been describing. So what I might do is I might just quickly carve this around, turn it into... I just want it to be a display piece to explain what goes on with the opal sometimes. I have never really found a good way anyone, expert or not, has described this white sheath around a black center. And I know it happens in other areas. So when liquids cool and stuff, a similar pattern develops. So there has to be something that this does. There has to be a process that causes this. I've already tested it. This is not manganese, so I know that much. But it's too thin. I can't actually make it into what I want to make it into. So we'll move on to the next bit. What I've successfully done is I've started to create quite the band. I've really given it a good exposition, I don't know, a good exploration. We're nearly up to the, if you have a look here, that's the black there, right? You can see it just through the light, but you can see on this side, that's where the colour band starts. So what's happening? It's getting to the point where we want to know. It'll be really annoying and frustrating if it doesn't face up to the front as well. And that is a distinct possibility. We might not be able to get anything to happen with it. I can see, according to camera land, you can actually see that band starting to appear. So, let's see what we can do. What I'm going to do is I'm now going to start angling to give myself the best chance. In case you're interested, it's me, my phone that's doing that, not you. I've got that wonderful reconnecting sign. I'm going to enjoy watching that when I review the footage later on. Incidentally, it's getting ridiculously cold now, so what I might do is I might consider finishing this one up. Oh, we've got some colour. We've finally gotten to it. Oh, it is so faint. This will require epic concentration. Sorry about the lack of showmanship. We've been putting my finger in the way. I just need to control the blade at the moment. That's what it looks like at the moment. Let's just give it a little bit of oomph around here, and I'll even let you see it happen. Aren't I generous and wise? Okay, here we go. So that's the first colour bar. It's not looking like it's adding up to much, but you don't know. This is why I think opal is such a fascinating gemstone, because there's so much you don't know about it. I can see a colour bar sitting there. As a matter of fact, I've highlighted it by the way that I'm cutting the stone. I know there's a second colour bar there. There's absolutely no other information on it. How does it face? Does it face? Can you go from behind? Can you get a reverse angle on it? All that kind of stuff. Don't know. What have we got here? This opal is not revealing its secrets, not to me. Okay, so let's just keep going. We'll just keep, will we? Yeah, we'll keep going. We'll keep going slowly. I'm going a bit faster actually. A bit gung-ho here. Watch as the giant rainbow colour, amazing opal that will never be replaced goes away. I'll cut it right down to the colour. Let's see what it does. Are we getting somewhere with this? Let's find out. I'm going a bit harder at it now, aren't I? It definitely faces on the side. Does it face on the top? That's the important question. Does it face on any other angle, basically? Do we miss a trick by not actually carving underneath? We can actually check that. Hopefully this isn't going to ruin everything. Don't think there was anything there. Oh well, too late now. What have we got here? Nothing yet. We have nearly cut through the first of the bars. So, we don't have much. I'm just going to move this over because we need to see. I hope it's not sun flash, because sun flash requires sunlight. And it's night time here. So I would have just destroyed it, but I don't think so because that bar is actually visible. Although I will try with the blue laser, see what we get. There is no science here telling me that this is actually going to work. This is just checking to see if I can spot anything whatsoever. I naturally spent. Well, you can still see the bar, but the laser's good at pointing out the bar, but it might be just like. It seems logical to me that colours might actually be visible in other spectra. So, you know, maybe it's an infrared bar or ultraviolet. Makes sense to me. Alright, here's where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. If we get some colour here, then it's worth it. If not, you've just been watching 2 hours. How long have we been going for? Yeah, you've been watching 59 minutes of this. Really going hard into it now to try and get something. Basically what this lens of opal is doing, it's just not facing the right way. So, oh, hang on. Alright, so we'll see how this goes, but all I'm seeing is I'm seeing a slight change in colour of the black potch. So you can see just along there, slight colour change. We'll see if that leads to anything. It might lead to nothing. Yoink. Back into my hand you go. Good, Opal. What a catch. What a catch. Marvellous catch, that. No safe bear vans there. Wonderful Horden Forst. Now that is a couple of decades old. None of those people are alive anymore, and it's cricket, so if you're from another country, oh well. Hopefully either India or UK are watching. Potentially South Africa, but they don't like Australian cricketers because Australian cricketers do this thing, well they used to, called sledging. And it was a part of the Australian culture. It's not a part of very other cultures, like insulting people on the field. We just thought it was part of the game. Other countries hated us for it. That and underarm balls, and that makes no sense if you come from any other place. When you're playing cricket, you have to bowl the ball over the top of your shoulder. If you bowl it like a bowling ball, it's not in the rules anymore. Fascinating, says the Americans. Fascinating. Please tell me more about this game we don't care about. So technically we're right on the bar and nothing's happening. I don't see anything. Gonna carve it from the other angle, see what we get. I think it's about time to do what I call a desperation cut. So the question I'm asking myself is, what if the opal faces from the opposite side? We'll find out soon enough. I thought I saw a hint of something, so what I'm actually doing is I'm actually pushing it also back on a reflex angle. So we'll see if that actually helps. Could just be me seeing nothing. Should be in the colour by now. So I have cut this from every which way and got nothing. What I'm doing now is I'm carving it from the second backwards angle that I can think of. Now I'm carving it from a forwards backwards angle, so to speak. There is no way that bar is going to make itself known. No way, no how. The only way is from that side. Oh, found it. Did I? There it is. There it is. Unbelievable. I was about to give up. Oh, it's so faint. So very, very faint. Okay, so let's just go to this side. Okay, look, guys, this is not the most stunning opal in the world, all right? It's not, but I found it. I found the bar. I found the colour bar. This is the one which has given me the biggest sense of achievement. Now, yeah, admittedly, practically nothing. I get that. Yes, good. But I found the damn bar. And that's something Australians find very important. They need to always find the damn bar. Okay, here we go. I'm getting a good bit of colour. I'm getting good colour. I mean, okay, let's be realistic. It's not that great a colour, but look, if you sat there and gently tried to remove material, found nothing for like nigh on an hour, and finally found something colour, it doesn't matter if it's like, you know, donkey ball black, at least you got something. Okay, so what I shall do, in honour of this momentous occasion where I found something, I will actually shine this up. Okay, let's go and have a look at what we're seeing here. It's just a ridiculously small amount of opal, but let's do it. Okay, you can see how there's just that slight discoloration, which has got a slight amount of blue sitting and just gleaming through. And then down at the bottom here, you've got the same amount of blue that's just gleaming through. It's that blue there. It's practically nothing. But in order to get it, I had to cut it from the other side. I found the damn thing. I found where it was facing. I'm absolutely stoked that I was able to do it. Now, no one's going to care. Like, this is not your most amazingly valuable opal in the world. But I'm going to put it in a ring. Damn it, I'm putting it in a ring. I'm going to have a ring and I'm going to say, this is the most precious opal ever. And you don't have to believe me, but it's mine. Mine and mine. Mine. Yeah, we're doing that. All right, I'm putting it over there. Hopefully it'll look good in the sunlight. Maybe it's a sun flash. Now let's have a look at what we have left over here. See if there's anything stupendous. Doesn't look like anything. What I'll do is I'll carve it into very thin slices. The reason I'm doing this, A, to make doublets, but B, I noted that it did face up on the other side, so maybe we've been barking up the wrong tree all of this time. That doesn't look like it's going to do anything. But that's okay. Let's just get this piece done and then we'll flatten it out. And then we've got our nice black potch for a doublet. And then we'll pretend we know what we're talking about and move on. So yes, we all know what we're talking about. Yay. Goody goody gumdrops and all that. Stiff upper lip. Right. That's that one done. Alright, so I'm getting cold, so we're going to start to figure out what to wrap up from here. Oh, the memories. That's the piece I cut off it. Probably a massive stone in there. This is another potential disaster stone. Let's just give it a quick zhuzhing. Okay, so that layer there is just all cracked. So let's just carve it out at an angle and hope that maybe something comes good from that. I accidentally hit the screw on the way through, so that might cause issues for the Dremel. If it does, I'll take that as my cue to stop. But at the moment things are going okay-ish. I'm just going to grab the pieces that flew off because they should be pretty badly cracked. That they are. Let's have a look and see if we can spot them. I think you can see the cracks all in there. So, very cracked, very cracked. That piece flew off here, I'll salvage that later. There was another chunk that flew away. I wasn't exactly paying attention at the time. Yeah, it was that piece and it's no good. This is a piece of the other one that I've been struggling with for such a long time. Having a quick look at it now. Don't think we've got anything there, nothing amazing. Right, back to this piece. You can still see that shiny bit is where cracks are. So just up there, cracks everywhere. So I am going to try to cut along the sand line and then try and deal with those cracks. I'm not so much dealing with the cracks as actually trying to find areas where the opal is unaffected, because this is very fragile material here. And I've found the cause, it's this sand here. Now, ordinarily, sand is good for opal. In the case of Mintaby, it is not. And opal is an interplay of one delicate balance after another. The delicate balance we're dealing with here is the expansion rate of sand compared to the expansion rate of hydrated silica. They're different, so that means every time there's a change in temperature, stresses appear in the stone. I'm pretty certain those stresses are good when the opal's forming, because I reckon that helps to create those beautiful patterns that we see. But once you're cutting the opal, if there are still cracks in it, by the way, these are my theories, they're not like official theories or anything. But if there are still cracks in the opal, when you're actually cutting the opal, that's a whole other story. It's a much sadder story too. Much like the story of this live stream, really. Well, we knew that was going to happen. We knew there were cracks. This is the cracked section. I'm just going to try and get a few bits off it. it's in my nature to try and salvage bits that people wouldn't ordinarily try to salvage. And that makes for the fun of the channel too, because there is no guarantee that this is going to work. So, tenseness, cue the music, dum, 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 dum. Then we go back down, of course. Dum, 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 then down again. Dum, 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 dum. Striking that amazing balance between tension and boredom. Have I carved off all the rubbish yet? Nope. More rubbish to go. All of that out. Done. Extremely fragile as pieces fly off. And normally I'm a bit concerned when I see the pieces fly off, but I know where they're coming from. They're coming from that crack area, and the crack area. We're not talking about plumbing. That cracked area, and there is no helping the cracks. These little it's almost like dendrites of crack. That sounds like the band that never made it. Welcome to the stage, Dendrites of Crack. Hello, we are Dendrites of Crack. We only just discovered what the English was for this. And we were talking about the good music, yeah. And now we have the plumber problem. Oh, they're very good Dendrites of Crack. We don't care. Now just sing your song. The bum, the bum, the bum, the bum, the bum, the bum. That's enough. No, not a failure. Looks like Dendrites of Crack is not going to go anywhere. Now I was trying to pick a non-anything accent. How did I go? Did I sound like anything? I'm getting the general impression that this Opal isn't approving of my sense of humour. We're getting something that, like, can I just... Hey! See ya. I'll go pick up this piece. This is a less depressing piece anyway. That other piece I think could have been salvaged, but maybe it was just my, maybe it was just my positive attitude. And it really was unsalvageable. So now you can decide on whether I've got a positive attitude or not. Good luck with that. Okay, let's cut this along. So what I'm seeing is that a lot of the cracks are forming along where the sand is. So at least it's good for my theoretical thesis on how opal forms and how opal shatters. But as far as creating a good opal is concerned, not so good. There you go. It's nice shine, but that's not really what we're after, because that shine is actually a crack. So I'm wondering what to do with that. I'll just try and carve off some of the top here. If the crack travels all the way through, hopefully it'll just break off on its own and leave us with good opal, because I've been plagued with nothing but good luck this entire cutting session. That was me being sarcastic, demonstrating my good attitude. Well, my hands are doing the normal shaping procedure, so I didn't tell them to do that. They just saw something, went for it. Here is the source of the problem, right in the middle of the opal. This is where the cracking has all begun. Right around this spot of sand, right here. It's radiated out from the middle throughout all the opal, making it into a nightmare opal that is really hard to cut. What I'm doing is I'm just removing that shiny cracking material. First things first, stabilise it, then we worry about how to cut it into stone. Actually, we're getting there. There's still a little piece over there, but that's alright. Yeah, it's stable. That's pretty good. Every dark cloud has a silver lining, as they say. Yep, we've got one more crack. I'll actually carve this whole piece off. Noting that it's really hard as well, this opal. Which actually is a good sign, because it was really soft before when it was going through all the cracked stuff and the sand and whatnot. I think it's just stabilising now, which is kind of cool. So this is the cracky piece. There's only like 2 or 3 cracks left in it. I'll worry about them in the morning, I think, because, well, not in the morning, another day. Basically, because it's quite, not stressful, it just takes it out of you, cutting all these cracked stones. Yeah, now this piece here, I might have to do that in the morning too, because I think these things are, I'll just get this bit off. So the next challenge is cutting it into a stone, you see, and if you're cutting it into a stone, want the stone to last, so you don't want any cracks in it, and you don't want it to be unstable. So you have to kind of, I don't know, do some kind of quality guarantee on this thing. First things first, you've got to make it stable, though. Once it's stable, then you then probably, I wouldn't give this to anybody to mount into a jewel. I'd probably have to save it until I've gotten enough silver to make a ring or something, and then mount it myself, because if I crack it on the way in, that's one thing, but if someone else cracks it, they'll feel bad. Okay, that crack there is the last one, and I think it terminates. So I'm acting on the assumption that it does, and if it doesn't, I'll say this evening has progressed exactly as I expected it to. Nothing worked. I put an opal onto the dot stick, started to spin it, and it just did not behave. And then we went over to the wheel. Most of my stones exploded. There was evidence that at least one of the stones would work. No, we're not going to give you anything. We're not giving you an inch. Right, thank you, stones. You've got this final thing which has got, cracks in it, and it's just not abating. Okay, cracks are out. I'm not dealing with it anymore. Oh, my arms are sore. Let's have a look at one of these randoms. I'm going to go soon, but we'll do this one. Just quickly take some potch off it and see what we can come up with, because I just want to shape a stone, really. There was colour on this before I started. I think I've just cut all the colour off it. Good on you, Phil. Good on you. Keep up with your form. Just destroy all of the opals that you ever touch. There we go. There's our colour. Just a tiny little piece there. Let's go and have a shot. Okay, 15% battery. So I think we're about to finish up here. What I'll do is I'll just quickly go over to the birds. We'll say hi to the birds and then end the stream, I suppose. Found any colour? No, don't be silly. Alright. Goodbye to that rock. Okay. Turn off. Go in. Hopefully nobody's who doesn't want to be seen is going to be inside. Hello, birdies. Hello, birdies. Okay, well that explains why the internet wasn't working. I've got a daughter who's sitting there on the phone. So that is Loki. It's a cold night. That's why she's all fluffed up. You all fluffed up? Come on. Good girl. Come here. There you go. Yeah, there's an awful lot going on in the house at the moment, so I'm going to have to end the stream, and I've only got 15% batteries left. Goodbye. Do you want a scratch? Would you like a scratch?
There you go. There we go. Maybe when things quieten down, I'll do another live stream of the birds. But it seems to me that everything is relatively active. I'll go and have some dinner and do what I need to do. But I will show you Pony. She's just kicking along. All right, there we go. There we go. There we go. Whoops, sorry. There you go. All right, flipping around. Welcome to the chat. So, no. All right, so let's try. Pony. Yeah, Pony wants a bit of a scratchy poo. Change the cage floor not an hour ago, and there's already 5 poos on it. This bird's amazing. A 1-bird guano machine. Anyway. Really? My love was just recommended, was it, Darcy? Oh, well, I'm going to have to go because I've got 15% battery. So, see you around. Darcy Does Comedy. Good to see you, by the way. Have a lovely evening. And I'm going to flip around. Boing. Dr. Phil out. Goodbye.